So Steph Curry, who had a big second half when they needed it most, credit where it is due, Jay. Finally, it happened.
Just got to sneak that one in there, Key.
In year 17, he had a big second half in the finals. At home, in a must-win game, or a very good idea to win game. He talked with Lisa Salters afterwards.
We came up with the right defensive energy and approach. Obviously, they have a lot of scoring. You have to make it tough on them all night. Jason and Jalen got off to a decent start, but we made them take tough shots. And then offensively, we were a little bit more organized in what we were trying to do from the jump. So we said we needed to play with desperation. That's what we did. Good feeling to get back on track, and now we got to take it on the road.
You know, something Steph said, Jay, which I bring it up from time to time, he doesn't get enough credit for. For a superstar like him who's undersized and not really built like a defender, he is present on defense.
Well, he's put on a lot of weight, actually. He doesn't get pushed off his spot as much anymore.
Yeah, but even when he was like lighter, he still was – he expends some energy on that side of the court. Not every superstar who's like Steph does that, right? Even last night, defensively, he's a present player for a guy who carries that kind of load on offense.
So it was trending last night about Draymond Green could play football for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers with the way he was literally manhandling people. And watching it, I've said this before, if Dennis Rodman had grown up in the skill development era, right? Like that's who Draymond would agree. Yeah. Draymond Green would be Dennis Rodman growing up in the skill development era, minus the shooting, because he has a very high basketball IQ. It's one of the most underrated things, Key, that nobody really talks about. He's the quarterback for this team. And one of the things he did right out of the gate is that he understands his job description, and he wasn't doing that in the first game. He's an agitator. He's a guy that provokes you. So he started off by ripping the ball away from Al Horford. Like, literally took him to the ground, jump ball. A couple of plays later, he starts barking at Jason Tatum. Oh, I'm going to get in the head of the other team's best player. He actually baits him into a foul. He gets into it with Grant Williams. He gets a technical foul. He gets into it with Jaylen Brown. Oh, he challenges a shot. They fall down. He just leaves his right leg on the shoulder of Jaylen Brown. Most players would have taken the leg off. He just leaves it there. He gets Jaylen Brown to engage with him, to push him. He pushes back. Now, that should have been a technical foul. Maybe you can get into engage, whether that should be or not.
By the way, it's what LeBron did to him once upon a time.
But that's what he does, right? That's what he does. And it set a different tone for this team where sometimes with Golden State, you question who's going to be that second guy to the party. Is it going to be Wiggins? Is it going to be Clay? Is it going to be Jordan Poole? Was Jordan Poole later in the game? But still, the energy-wise, Draymond set that tone from the beginning of the game, Key, and that's why I think they won the game. Like that, Steph played his tail off, but he set the tone from the beginning.
Is that tone more about intimidation, OJ, that they're out there thinking that if I do something to this dude might do something back to me? So they're thinking about what Draymond might potentially do to them if they get into a confrontation? Is that what they're thinking when they're on the court? Because you're playing a basketball game, and you're going to have people that are tough and enforcers and things of that nature. You can't engage in those sort of things. You can't allow Draymond Green to get you off your game. But I think, not only Draymond and Steph did what they were supposed to do in the game, but when you look at the other three players on Boston's side, which would be Horford, White, and Smart, they didn't do nearly the work, not even close to the work that they did in game one. Although Jason Tatum had a phenomenal game in the first half, he didn't show up much in the second half. And so when you look at those 3-4 things combined, you're going to get run out of the building 107-88, especially when the Warriors' second wave of players stepped up outside of Steph.
And Dre, as you said, Jay, high IQ. I mean, not just high basketball IQ. You could hear him on his podcast. He's a smart guy. But part of that is knowing what does the team need. And he gave them what they needed early.
Max, when you hear conversations on the sidelines and all the guys are talking about how they need to minimize how loud Draymond's voice is in their own head, you're winning the game. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.